What's good, YouTube? You already know who it is. Your boy Trey 57 Productions. Get with it or get left behind. And right now, we are going to be talking about one of my favorite firearms, and we are in a controlled, safe environment. And the weapon is cleared. I will show you. There she is. All right. Got a magazine, nothing in her. She's empty. But I'm going to pop her back in. And I'm going to speak on this Smith & Wesson M20 M&P chambered in 40. Also can use 357 as long as you get the 357 SIG barrel. Okay. I've seen people shoot around out of this 40 barrel. I don't recommend it. It just won't chamber another one. So it will let one go down range, but it won't be able to chamber another one unless you get the 357 barrel. But that's not what this video is about. This video right here is about getting yourself a proper holster. And what I mean by that is that you need a holster that is going, first of all, it's going to be comfortable. Make sure it's comfortable up against your body. If you're going to be carrying inside the waistband holster, meaning the belt, the clip is on the outside, so you're going to tuck this in between your waistband. And you have an outside the waistband holster, which clips in like a phobos. But this is what y'all need to understand. So I'm going to show y'all two holsters. Now, this is the one that I got for this, but this is one that I tried to use for it. And then I said, whoa, this ain't going to work. It looks good. Look, don't get me wrong. Look at the color. Like the black, the brown, baseball glove material, y'all. You know, that Major League Baseball glove material. Woo, look at the stitching on that. So, and the leather here. So this is a 1791 holster. And I'm going to tell you what's bad about this. Now, the good thing is it does hide the back plate. So the back plate is down. So now look at that. That whole firearm is tucked down in this comfortably, right? And it's also covering the trigger. And it's solid, so you cannot access this trigger. There is no access to this trigger at all. So there will be no accidental discharges unless you got something wrong with your gun. So what I mean by get yourself the right holster. So fumbling around with this, I noticed that one day I was out and about and I just pushed down on the holster. So to push the clip to lock across the belt. Now see this? Now check this out. So here it was. Brand new. It might stop right there, everybody. Listen to this. Pay attention to your holsters when you buy them. I don't care if the person behind the counter is selling it to you. Check it out before you leave because it'll stop here. Now notice the gun's going to come. The barrel's going to come out of the holster. Watch. See it peeking out? All right. Now, a lot of people got them revolvers that poke through the holsters as well. I've seen it, y'all. Y'all might say, well, which state you live in? There are some people that have their guns bigger than the holster. As long as the gun is in the holster, they cool with that. But I'm going to tell y'all, not cool. And I'm going to tell you why. So we're going to push this all the way down in there. Y'all see that sight, that front sight? Now, in a self-defense situation, y'all, listen, check your holsters now. If you are a person that carries on a day-to-day, there's a reason behind checking your holster because you might not have the right holster. Well, how do you know that? The minute you go to reach to pull this gun out of this holster, you see that? It's stuck. Why is it stuck? Y'all, it's stuck for real. Now, look at that. Y'all see that? All this is doing is laying behind the holster. So the sight is grabbing. It's grabbing right there. There's no come out. You understand? So you got to be careful with that. And the gun store going to do whatever it takes to sell you some merchandise so they can make some money. They don't want to see you hurt, but it just might have been something that they overlooked. Because a lot of people, like I said, they'll have a gun holster and a gun that just, especially a lot of revolvers and a lot of these semi-automatics. With the polymer frame, the gun is actually way past the hole in the holster. So the whole half of the barrel is hanging out. As long as the gun is in a holster, some people don't care, but you need to care because the minute you go to snatch this out of there, it's a wrap. because that other dude gonna get the quick on you. What if you faster than this dude? Say y'all, you the fastest dude in your county. It won't mean nothing when that dude is slow. He can take his time getting his gun out. He's slow. And you still tucking and you grabbing it. Then your belt done broke because you pulling on it. Then you finally get it out. He done already shot you 3 times. So take that into consideration, y'all. Please watch. Look, this sexy. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. That look good. But look, once you see, listen to me. Anytime you buy a holster, here's the trick. Anytime you buy a holster, if you see your gun coming past that holster, you might need to take a look at that. But what am I looking for? You want to make sure that your sight, see that sight? That's way past the holster. So you go to grab, if it's angled wrong, it's grabbing, and it ain't, the situation might be bad. You understand? He gonna get the upper, you gonna get the downer. You going down and he going up. I ain't saying you going to hell, but he gonna have the upper hand. He's gone. You going someplace to get some medical attention. All right, he might go to jail, but if they even catch him, we ain't thinking about that. I just want y'all to be safe when you're leaving with your firearm. You want to have the right holster. So check this out. I love this holster. It's just not right for the Smith & Wesson M&P M2O. Chambered in 40, by the way. Beautiful. Not subcompact, compact. Handy. Beautiful grip. Nice P rail on it. Picatinny rail. Everybody say you can't do that. You can't. There's nobody there but the camera. What am I going to destroy the camera? But y'all see that? Beautiful. See that? I only put maybe... I ain't even going to cap. Maybe 500 rounds went through this gun. Because you get a box of 50. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe 600 rounds went through this. Maybe. I'm not even going to say 600 went through this. But this gun ain't even broke in. But it shoots like it's broke in. So, but we're talking about the holster. So let's just jump right on into the holster. I bought this holster specifically for this gun. And it does hold my Glock. Whew. When I reach for my Glock and that, it's coming up out of there. I feel bad for the other side. So bow, here you go. This is the pole craft, all right? A lot of people get these painted. They get them Cerakoted. Some people paint them when they own. It's only polymer. It's not plastic. So you can paint this whatever you want. You could tape off and put some lettering and then paint it, spray paint it. Boom, take it out, let it heal, the paint cure. And you have a nice color. You can camouflage this. All right, you could really deck this out. I've seen people do it. It looks nice. I said, who'd you send that to? They said Cerakote. I mean, if we do the gun, yeah. He said, but Cerakote? Man, this is spray paint. And I said, what? He said, then you just slap after about 4 days of it curing. He let it cure. He don't touch it for 4 days. And then he go get himself some clear coat and hit it with a clear coat. And then whatever you painted is going to stay there. So that's what I might do for this. This holster here, I might even put a Trapod 7 design on it. All right. So let's just jump into this holster. So this here is a nice holster. It's just not for this gun. A revolver can go into this really nice too, y'all, by the way. So here it is with this. Now I showed y'all the Glock goes into this holster really well. Doesn't grab, doesn't snag because the sights on the Glock don't sit up as high as the sights on this Smith & Wesson. Look at that high front sight. All right. You see how high that sight is? I mean, you really got to watch. And then you could break your sights. Some people say, no, you can't. Y'all trust me. I don't want to get into it. One of my sights is broke on one of my guns. I could care less because it's a self-defense gun anyway. And I know how to use it. But it's going to get fixed anyway. So there you go. Once again, in here one time. Bow. Push it in there. You don't want it to fall when you run it, so push that in there. And look, wait, another thing that's bad about this. You want to make sure it got the good grip so it holds the gun, but you still want to make sure when you pull it out, there is no resistance. Little to none. So when you run and trip the wall, it ain't going to fall out, but you don't want to be able to pull and you can't get stuck because it's just too tight. So your holster got to be, see that? That's too much. And I angled it to pull this out of there. So let me show y'all the holster this goes with. Bow. Specifically, watch this. Look, see it fall in there, y'all? All right. Now let's push it down one time. Oh, you can also tighten this. So right here, you got flatheads. You could tighten this. So down here, it bites down here. But this holster here, look at that. Perfect. Now, you don't see nothing coming out of the end of this, do you? Nope. Can't get snagged. And right there, even if it did go all the way, there's an opening in the top of this holster. So the sight's not going to grab. Look. Woo! I feel bad for you. Woo! I feel bad for you. Woo! I feel bad for you. Now, the Glock has no issues in this holster. All right. Now the Glock comes all the way. That is because the Smith & Wesson M&P M2O is a tad bit longer than this Glock. So see that? The Glock doesn't make it all the way through there. But here's another thing about the Glock. No resistance. None. But look. That's weird, ain't it? See you bye-bye. So this right here is nice, but this has some don'ts to it. It's bulky wherever you got it at. So you got to get used to that. And for people that carry guns illegally, the bulkiness might bother them. But somebody that's allowed to carry a gun, you shouldn't even be worried about if your gun is bulky and it's showing. If you got a concealed carry permit and you got that shirt covering that gun, it's concealed. If somebody sees it, okay, it's printing. It's not like you showing it deliberately, like most people do. But it is what it is. There you go. Get yourself the right holster. So right now, this might be one of my to-go holsters for this Glock. But the Smith & Wesson looks a lot better with this black on black pole crab. Look at that, y'all. Look at that mold on there. Look at the mold. Look just like the pistol, don't it? Look at that. See the slide, got the trigger guard, got the trigger, got the mag release. Boom. She's beautiful. Get yourself the right holster, people. You'll thank yourself later. All right. Give this video a thumbs up. Hit the bell for notifications. And let's get this video to whatever views. If you like the video, share the video with your friends, y'all. It doesn't hurt to hit the like button. It doesn't hurt to subscribe. And hate is always welcome. Bye.